sound, and I'm the only one who can't hear. Can't hear. We can't hear. Sis. Can't hear. I got the podcast. Holla if you hear me. I got the podcast. Holla if you hear me. There's no sound. There's no sound. Oh, there it goes. Somebody said there it goes. Somebody said that was it. We heard that. I got the podcast. Holla if you hear me. I got the podcast. Holla if you hear me. What? First of all, do we remember when that been as strong as that? Huh? Every now and then I put that hook up. Holla if you hear me. Because it's true. Okay? But he just said, yes, I have all special I pay for. I have to do it. Now he just said, now, holla, come on now. Do you all remember when Master Huh? I do. I remember. Why y'all trying to act like y'all don't remember? It's okay to remember. Okay, listen. Do it. Let me tell you, all TV podcast got to be 5 minutes long this week. I'm not playing with y'all. Okay, 5 minutes long for a number of reasons. Mostly because people are acting like this week. Okay, and because they were acting like this, I'm taking those down to the out that I so we can hear.
Mm, try it now. Breaking in and out. It's not clear. It sounds like an echo. Your mic is like an echo and it won't let go. Sound is not right. I can't hear good. Very choppy. The sound is not clear.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Wow, this is not ideal. You switch the camera. Shine your whole head card is on Instagram live right now. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Trying.
Um, hello. Testing. Hello. Hello. Hi, can I please speak with Latrell Joe from Kansas City, Missouri? Hello. Hello, Deborah Johnson from Compton. Hello, Valerie in Riverside, California. Hello. Info Peter from South Africa. Hello, can you hear me? Miami in the building. Hello. Hello. Good to go. Somebody said yes. Somebody said better. Hello. After Robinson said we can hear you. So, do you need to tell me you didn't hear any of my songs? Somebody said I need to do it over. Can y'all hear me? Better, but the sound is low.
It's echoing. There's an echo. Keep talking.
Keep talking. It's not, but I'm not sure. Is it still an echo? Fix the sound, please. Y'all telling us that we trying to fix the sound. That's what we trying to do right now. We trying to fix it already. Okay, so here's an alternative. Somebody said I can relive this. Keep going. Are you stressed? Malachi is stressed. Okay, here we go. You ready? How you do that there?
Okay.
Go ahead to the gear. Okay. As well past the cam link.
Okay. And we're picking up there. And that is here. Maybe we turn off the roadcaster and start it again. Wow. Okay. Oh,
wait, what?
How? What? How did that even happen? All right, I'm gonna try. I don't know. Hello. Jay Nicole says Shanice. No echo. Hello. Much better. Hello. Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3. All right. All right. Somebody said you were loud and clear. The sound is stressful. Who do you think is more stressed right now? Are we all right? Yay, you good? You good? Hey, auntie, better, perfect. You know what? I've sang and you didn't hear me. I rapped, you did not hear me. What do I do? How do I start this podcast from the beginning? Just 1, 2, 3. Child, this your girl SJR, and you are listening to the Woman Evolve podcast. I am your girl SJR, and here we are. Here we are. Okay, so this podcast is going to be 5 minutes long. That's how I started this. This podcast, I hope you caught it from the top, because this podcast is going to be 5 minutes long. Somebody said rap and sing again. Okay, so how you do that there? Oh, they did hear me. What's up? And then we did a little Master P. Okay, I got the hook up. Holly, if you hear me, we enjoyed that. Loved that. And Delegation, where are you? What are you doing with your life? Have you been dissolving? Are you drinking your water? Huh? Jasmine Jones says, why am I laughing so hard? I love it here. Why? Why? All right, I got 3 more minutes before this episode is over. So we're going to can I tell y'all something? Jasmine Hill says the devil's clearly being a chicken head this afternoon. I had a song last night. I was going to bed and I was like, I'm going to perform that tomorrow. Yes, I use the word perform because that's what this is at this point. I was going to perform it for the podcast, and now I can't remember the song. And it was gonna be so good. All right, but listen. Um, so Michelle says, live in a hot country, so I have no other choice but to drink lots of water. You better serve us truth. Serve us truth today. Marissa says, wait, I'm not okay with this 5-minute situation. I don't really have nobody to rescue this week. So I was just going to do Hail Mary advice and a snack. I mean, I could rescue us for doing this podcast. If you're listening on your AirPods or on your iTunes app or your SoundCloud app or your Google Play stuff, and you didn't catch us live, I just want you to know technical difficulties we had, and some kind of way the camera got turned around, and Shanice, who has on her scarf at a smooth 2 p.m. in the afternoon. It's part of the look. It's a 2 p.m. scarf look. And was right on the camera with our producer extraordinaire, Malachi, in the building. Delisha says, I'm dissolving thanks to Cora. I signed up with her health coach. Come on now. Latoya says, I'm late. So are we. And yet you are right on time. Okay, so it's gonna be longer than 5 minutes, but Tamika Flower says, I found all the way y'all lost. Tamika, let me tell you something. Thank you for picking that up for us. Nothing like a friend who will serve in any season. Okay. But I didn't have nobody to rescue. Tia Alicia says, let's rescue the podcast from its complication. We could do that. We could definitely rescue the podcast. But okay, so all right. Kimberly says, I loved Refuse to Lose, watched it twice. Okay, Refuse to Lose. Did you all refuse to lose with us this weekend? If you were a part of Refuse to Lose, tell me about your experience. What did you feel? What was that like for you? If you were a part, then you know that we are starting a book club. Okay. And let me tell you something. I have been excited. There have been a lot of people who have told me repeatedly that we need to start a Woman Evolved book club. Why? Because we like to read, or we need to read and don't have any accountability to continue reading. So we've started the book club. If you want more information, you can go to womanevolvedbookclub.com. But that is one of the things that we announced over the weekend during Refuse to Lose. Sharice says, man, sis, RTL was what the soul needed. SFT 3761 says it was powerful. Jasmine Jones says, yes, I refuse to lose. So yeah, refuse to lose. Brianna Hammond says, refuse to lose. Second round was everything. I thought Fort Lauderdale was good. Chicago was different. What's crazy about these tours are like every city is completely different. Fort Lauderdale was super special too. I was so sick in Fort Lauderdale. Like, I felt terrible. And I was leaning on nothing but the hand of the Lord, and he showed up. Jay Nicole says, I cried. Miss Alicia says, Refuse to Lose was amazing, just what I needed. So the book club, we start 2021. It's going to start in January. And we'll send you your book each month, discussion guides, Facebook Live. We're going to make sure that we're connected and growing. I like fiction and nonfiction books. So I'm going to mix it up and be sending out different things. Hopefully, sometimes we'll be able to speak with the author to ask them further questions and just get an idea of what they were thinking. But yeah, Woman Evolve Book Club. It's a whole thing. Lexi Ramos says, I've been trying to evolve and this stomach virus has me dissolved. Oh, I'm sorry, Lexi. We're gonna help you evolve once you get rid of this bug. Okay. So how about that? 5-minute podcast today. So we rescued us today. That was it. Everybody has been acting right, and you got to thank God weeks where you don't have any Eves. We love Eve, but when she doesn't show up, we got to thank God for that. I started to stretch myself and rescue old things or things that don't make any sense that we should be addressing, like middle names. Middle names serve no purpose. That's how low the stories were this week. Is that I started thinking to myself, what are things that we should rescue that we don't talk about that serve no purpose? Okay. How about that? How about that? So podcast, middle names. I thought about Gail King because the courage she had to put her feet on the Aaliyah Rochelle. I love middle names. We just never use them for anything. Like, I've started using mine sometimes for certain things, but like, how often does a middle name really show up in your life? The only time sometimes I forget my middle name because I don't use it at all. But the middle names are amazing. I just don't see what purpose they serve. And Ella has 2 of them. So you get to choose. Omisi says my name saves me with online dating. Do we want to talk about online dating? Do we want to rescue? Can I tell y'all something? 2020, we have rescued online dating because y'all not going nowhere and you want to be married. And so online dating has been rescued. Be selective on which apps you're on. You know, I did a cursory review for one of my friend Shanice here is, you know, and some of the saints. So they're just letting whosoever will, and that's how it should be, but you got to know whatsoever you're looking for. Okay. Elena says, let's rescue prerequisite classes in college that have nothing to do with your major. Can we just get to the point? Can we just get to the point? That more people would stay in school if we could just get to the point. Why do I need to take astrology? Why do I need to take that? Why astronomy? Astronomy. It's astronomy. Astrology is, I'll call y'all back. But astrology, I'll call y'all back. I'm in astronomy. Astrology is in the back of the Cosmo magazine where they tell you about your life and them horoscopes. And you know, the church, you know, they get a little, and then Harry Potter. Come back. Okay, what else we gonna rescue? Courageous is so cool to see this podcast. I know a couple of no middle names. Yeah. Okay. So can we just move to Hail Mary? Or do y'all want to try and rescue anything else? Megan says we need free education. If we had free education, would more people go to school? You don't think so? Okay. Stephanie says, can we request this Rona weight, please? Rescue this Rona weight? Is that what you mean? Rescue? Can we rescue this Rona? We might as well. Who's gonna love us who's gonna love us? If we don't love us, who will? Vanessa says rescue remote learning. I like remote learning. I think we should rescue. Let's see. Now it says, can we rescue employers who ask the same questions in the applications as is right there on your resume? Let me tell you something. I like to tap back things when I've answered things just to show people I answered this. Lexi says, can we rescue the need for degrees when surely there's a more pragmatic, less expensive way to get credentialed? I wish Skillshare was a sponsor this week because I would tell you about pragmatic, less expensive ways to get credentials. But yet they are not a sponsor this week. Okay. So we're good, right? We're moving on. How about that? KR says, rescue my boss because she has been trying to tell us about it. What is she doing? Megan says, SJR, we need a hair. Oh, y'all, I got me a half wig. And then I'll get right into Hail Mary because usually when there is no structure, things go severely downhill on here. But I did get me a half wig because sometimes I want y'all to see my edges. Oh, I should post my puff. First of all, okay, here we go. First of all, last week was anniversary week. Husband and I went on a staycation. I didn't have to work out, so I went ahead and put me some little braids in, and then I took my braids out, and then I had a puff, and my puff was in business, okay? And so I'll post my puff tomorrow on Wednesday. So, I got me a half wig though, because why did I get it? Because sometimes I want you to see where my scalp is, and that's enough. And so I got a half wig with a little headband half wig. This isn't it. This is a different wig, but I got me a headband half wig, and it's beautiful. Had gave myself a little ponytail. And when I did that, it was blessed. Okay. I've never had a half wig, and I highly suggest them. I don't know if you have full wigs or no wigs, but if you're looking for a wig, I would say half wigs are beautiful. Okay. Um, all right. So all right, let's move on to Hail Mary because that's all we got. Hail Mary is when we just take him. We usually rescue people who are out here not doing the right thing, but have room to do the right thing, and we rescue them so that they can grow into doing the right thing. But I don't really have any rescues this week, and so that's why this episode is almost over. I want to start with the Hail Marys. The Hail Marys this week, I want to start with this woman. She's 102 years old, okay? A 102-year-old woman dubbed world's oldest living curling player. First of all, Lord, I just want to be 102 and still doing something. That's all. Lord, if it be your will. 102 years old and still doing something. A British Columbia woman is now a Guinness World Record holder after being confirmed as the world's oldest living curling player at age 102 years and 37 days. Lola Holmes of Vancouver said she started curling a stone sliding game played on ice. Because I know some of y'all talking about what she curl her hair. She doing bicep curls. Because what is curling? We don't even know what that is. No, not perm rod, sis. We talking about this game. It's a very sophisticated game that is a stone sliding game. It's played on ice like hockey, but it's not hockey, and it's a little stick and you move it around, and that's curling. First of all, Sherelle says, are those magnies? If you're listening, so you don't know, you're not seeing what we're seeing. Sis is down on her knees at 103, 102 years old. God, if you want to give me these knees, God, if you want to give me these abilities, I will receive them. Okay. She says, I am in the game of curling to win. I love to win games with our teams. I am equally unhappy when I lose. Holmes says she was excited to receive the Guinness World Record title. She said she hopes her accomplishment will inspire other seniors to remain active in their later years. Let's make a commitment right now, Woman Evolve Podcast, to stay active even into our old age. Let's do it right now. Let's see who we can become in our old age. Okay. We love that. I think that my goal is going to be to continue, walking and running. I'm gonna prophesy running in my life at 100 and some years old. And I believe that God's going to do it for me. Okay. Audrey Robinson, you're not lying. You said that's a gangster pose, and you're right. Okay. Megan says, God, please give me the favor to live that long. You know what? I don't know if it's the coronavirus. I don't know if it's just me as I am getting older, that I am really recognizing just like the blessing of what it means to like really just be alive. Like not for nothing. Like I've always realized like, oh my gosh, today is the blessing. But to see stories like this, someone's 102 years old, even little things like little kids turning birthdays. There's so much about life that we take for granted. And I feel like this year has been one of those years where I've really said to myself, like, wow, it is a blessing to be able to have family, to go and visit. It's a blessing to be able to connect with my siblings. Like, it's a blessing to be able to remain present and connected with what makes life beautiful. I think a lot of times life can get challenging because it's just rough and tough out here. But I don't know. I've been more and more aware of that. And I've been claiming long life over my life. I think when I was younger, I wasn't sure. I think because I had to, like, in a way, I had to prepare myself when I was giving birth at a young age to see whether or not I was actually going to make it. You know what I mean? And I think I've always lived with that kind of hanging over my head. And so like, I think death has been close to me from an early age, just the idea of leaving early. And so I am reversing my narrative about life and really laying hold of promises of long life and endurance. And that I think it's made me more present and more grateful and more aware. So Brianna Spears says, I'm prophesying snacks and carbs at 102 because I'll deserve it. Now I am going to eat carbs. I'm going to be active, but I'm not going to be talking about y'all's, you know, these carb counting and calorie countings. I'm not doing that at 102 years old. Okay. Oh, Crystal Moore says, I lost my mom on Halloween and I'm trying to stay present and enjoy the beauty of life. Crystal, give yourself time to heal. Don't be afraid to get therapy if you need it. There is beauty still here in the world, but you got to give yourself room to feel what you feel now. And as you feel that, you'll know when it's time for you to transition into really discovering that peace and that joy that is available to you. There was another really amazing story that came out of Kitsap County. Okay, the mother of three, Tara Simmons, and Jaleesa sent me this. Mother of three, Tara Simmons, has just been elected to represent the 23rd district in Kitsap County. Simmons was 12 when she dropped out of her middle school and became a mother by the age of 15. She, however, went back to school and became the first person in her family to graduate from high school. At 22, she earned her bachelor's degree in nursing from Pacific Lutheran University and spent the next 11 years working as a registered nurse. After a long, clean period, Simmons began to take drugs to cope with her depression. She stated, I started with pain pills and moved on to methamphetamines. She ended up in jail in 2011. Simmons says she was arrested 3 times for selling drugs and was eventually sentenced in Kitsap County Superior Court to 30 months in prison. But did you hear how this story started? Okay. The story started by saying that Sis was just elected into the 23rd district in Kitsap County. Can we just give snaps to that? Because Sis is still out here recovering, rebounding, and making the best. This is restoration at its finest. And when I say we love to see it, what I mean is that we absolutely, positively love to see it. So there were so many amazing things that happened over the last week or so with elections and things taking place with amazing people being nominated and put into positions of power. And so I just wanted to make sure that you guys are hearing these stories so that you can constantly remember what is available to you when you are willing to do the hard work to show up in life. You know what I'm saying? Um, I would also like to say that it is 3 o'clock and I have two more stories before we have to log off, because do you know what just happened? My whole computer for my okay, hold on. You know what? The devil's busy today. So that's that on that. Okay, Danielle says, snaps all the way. Hey, y'all, happy to be in the delegation. Danielle says, wow, that's an amazing testimony. Moved her right into purpose. I love to see it. Stephanie Carter says, hard work pays off. Indeed, it does. Audra Robinson says, I have a Hail Mary. The DMX interview when he confessed when he was 14, a 30-year-old mentor gave him a joint laced with crack. The Hail Mary is that he needed you there. I see the radio host barely had words. Pray for our land. Oh, praise the Lord. Praise not for that, but we'll duly noted. All right. Moving on. Our next story says, is it okay, I don't know. Somebody was saying they couldn't hear again. Somebody said this sounds good. Okay. I'm stressed. Somebody says, how do you join the delegation? You're here. You've already joined. Okay. The next story says, Houston mom mows lawns for free for veterans and seniors to support them during the pandemic. Come on, somebody. Lauren Laborde. Good night. Lauren Laborde, not Labrador. Have y'all ever seen the memes where they give you the first letter and the last letter and they mix up the middle letters and they say figure it out? I always pass those because I don't pay attention to the letters in the middle. And that's why you say Labrador instead of Laborde. Laborde. Lauren Laborde, a mother of two, and our new hero is mowing lawns for free as a way to give back to those over the age of 65 amid the coronavirus pandemic. Equipped with a Toro 22-inch recycler lawnmower, a Ryobi Edger, you better with these details, and chainsaw for more extensive tree trimming. Sis, I thought we was mowing the lawn like a little bloop, bloop, bloop. Sis said she got a chainsaw for more extensive tree trimming. I am more inspired than I was when I just saw the headline, because when I saw mowing lawn, I thought we meant just doing enough to make sure that they don't send you them letters about abandonment. I can't tree you trimming your trees. Trimming your trees, Laborde. It wasn't no accent they goo on there, so I just went with what I had. I don't feel good about this episode. Laborde. They need to put an accent de goo on here. Anywho, listen, when I tell you something, this is why you need to do stuff that you're good at, because I have sugar for you, I have milk for you. I could probably send one of the boys over to mow your lawn, but if you told me I miss the trees and the trees need trimming, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know what to tell you. I don't know how to do it. Okay. She's doing the absolute most, and we love to see it. Laborde is one of 11 volunteers with I Want to Mow Your Lawn, a national nonprofit founded by Brian Schwartz, an advertising executive who also lost his job due to the pandemic. Realizing that senior citizens and veterans were fighting greater battles against COVID-19, the New Jersey man decided that a free grass cutting service was a good and safe way to help. I love it. Okay. Danielle says, I need her to be my neighbor ASAP, SJR. It's cool. I can't type today. Life be out here. Okay. Let's see. Daisy says, a choice must be made on the pronunciation. I'm going to go with Laborde because somebody said that they know somebody whose last name is spelled the same way. Audrey says, show up and show out. Okay. Tracy says, I used to always get warnings from my city for my grass, LOL, and I'm a veteran. We need to send them your way. Okay. We love that. Tammy says, God makes a way to give us breadcrumbs before we find our meal. Laughter is a breadcrumb. Come on. That was powerful. I love that. We love that. Okay, so all right, Move on. Moving on. Oh, we love to see it. Can I tell you something? Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Kamala, hear me on the Kamala. I know Kamala. I know we've got Kamala running around as Kamala. Kamala has made an appearance, but it's Kamala. Kamala, and I think we should know this name, but I don't know as well because who knows who the president is. January 20th, 2021, Shanice will be sworn in as president. January 20th, 2021, we will all show up to the White House dressed in our Sunday's best because we don't know who is president. We don't know. And so we should all just show up and see which one of us they pick. It'll be like trying to get the Ivy Park collection and having to work at the same time. You just show up and see what you can get. Brianna says, who is the president? We don't know. We don't know. Okay. Cache says, I just say Kay Harris. Okay. Yeah, because that's what we do when we end up not knowing how to pronounce names. We end up making people have nicknames that they didn't ask for. Lil J. Lil B. It's better than calling people what you call it. Okay. Trina says, I'm claiming Biden as my president. I'm claiming Jesus as my president. Megan says, I would have voted for Shanice. At this point, Shanice, wow. Did you hear that? Let that sink in. The delegation would have voted for you for president. Receive that. You want me to keep going? You don't want to be put. Come here, Shanice. Come talk to us. Shanice, we might as well. The episode's down to nothing anyway. They couldn't hear in the beginning. My rap didn't translate. We don't have any rescue Eves. You might as well come over here and say hello. Wow. Okay. Victoria says, sis, has Beyonce sent you some Ivy Park? She sure has not. If you want, I mean, I didn't want to get personal about it, but she sure has not. And I don't know. I don't really know what to do about it. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. You know what I mean? But also, I don't know if she lost my address. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Shanice, I didn't want to put it on you, but Shanice is saying she didn't do her job. I don't want to put it on you. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I saw Lala Milan got one last time. She made a box herself, and then she got a real box this time. I don't know if I need to go get one of them Amazon boxes and just start turning and twirling in front of it, and just take some black fab, some of my black leggings, and I don't know what I need to do. I don't know if I need to get some gold metallic something and make my own 3 stripes. Yeah, no, yeah. I'm gonna take leggings I own and some gold metallic marker or paint and just draw 'em. Me, Ella, Kenzie, just draw. Girls, get a ruler and just draw it all the way down the leg. Trina says it's because you're dissolving. You got to be a plus size. Trina, okay, you caught me there because on one hand, grateful that I'm dissolving, but on the other hand, also didn't know that if I'd have known that I could have stayed the same size and got a box, because the whole reason I'm dissolving is because I couldn't fit my clothes. But if I'd have known that God was going to bless me to stay where I was, I would have. Tammy says Beyonce needs to join the delegation. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. And that's that on that. So no, to answer your question. Oh, I didn't even finish my Kamala story. Oh Lord. Joe Biden, no, Vice President elect Kamala Harris, husband Larry, lawyer. Good night. Vice President elect Kamala Harris's husband, lawyer Doug Emhoff, takes a leave of absence to support his wife. Doug Emhoff took a leave of absence from his law firm to support his wife, Vice President elect Kamala Harris, on the campaign trail. Now that the count is final, Imhoff announced that he will be stepping down from his position at his law firm to fully support his wife's new career. First of all, hail Joseph. Hail Joseph, because we would be foolish to believe that a man is not willing to sacrifice or to show up and support his wife in moments of intense pressure and scrutiny. I'm talking about what I know. I ain't talking about what I read about. When we get ready to go on tour and we gonna be on that bus, my husband puts his world, his very busy world, on hold, on pause, pushed his book back so that he could show up to make sure that I was covered during the tour. That was 2 weeks. I know for sure if God would ever lead me to be the president elect, and he will never do it. I know the God I serve, but go with me anyway, that my husband would show up and cover me. And I think that is amazing. Okay. Kelly Taylor says, I am absolutely loving this episode. I so needed this much laughter. That's all right. Okay. Tracy Jones says, come on through with the broadcaster voice. I had to use my broadcaster voice because I was out here losing, which means that I was just too comfortable with you all. Okay. Mariah Holden says, y'all, I learned something real cool today. If you say lose weight, it implies that it was something lost that needs to be found. In order to keep weight off, try changing your vocabulary by saying, I released weight, or dissolve works too. I like it. I like it. I released weight. I released weight. What do you say when you gain it? I received weight. I released the weight that I was carrying. And then that joint ran up on me and said, where are you going without me? They said there's no who's saying there's no sound. Can y'all really hear me or not hear me? Can't hear you. No sound, no sound, no sound. I acquired weight. I've attracted weight. Some people can hear me, some people can't. Ashley Frazier said, leaving the house, listening to this podcast, and the hubby, like, who is that? Tell Sarah. I said, what's up? What up, bruh? What up, bruh? Right? Because Ashley's my sis. She in the delegation. Tell my brother-in-law I said, what up? Okay. Aisha says we can say enlarging territory when you gain. I love that. No, I don't love it. I don't love it. There's a part of me trying to justify gaining weight and another part of me that's trying to release weight, and they are constantly at war on the inside of my body. Okay. That's all right. Okay. So just so y'all know, because we'll move through this, Joe Biden chose a woman of color to lead the fight against COVID-19. If he's allowed to be president, this would be phenomenal. If not, we're going to slide her on over to the next to whoever Shanice's administration, and we're going to tell Shanice that she needs to hire her. But okay, after his selection for Vice President Kamala Harris, Biden has chosen 3 people of color to serve on the COVID-19 strategy board. One of those selections is Dr. Marcella Nunez Smith, born on the U.S. Virgin Islands. Dr. Nunez is also the Associate Dean for Health and Equity Research at Yale's Medical School. Boom. Title. Her research focuses on promoting health and healthcare equity for structurally marginalized populations with an emphasis on supporting healthcare workers' diversity and development, developing patient-reported measurements of healthcare quality, and identifying regional strategies to reduce the global burden of non-communicable diseases. She sounds like she can tell me if it's a cold or COVID. You must have got this right off her website. Let me tell you who actually got that degree is this precious lamb here, because this whole little sentence right here put me to the test on a day I'm already stumbling through. Malachi, next time, can you put I don't want to say the Ebonics version, but can you do something different? Okay. DMB Dining Diva says she's official. Okay. Indeed, she is official. Okay. We love to see that. There's lots of laughing emojis here. Ashley says, love to see it. And we do. Okay. And if you need some support after this episode, which I'm sure has probably been traumatic in some ways because of the unprofessionalism, first of all, accept it. It's all right. Have grace with others. If you struggle to have grace, go to BetterHelp. That's all I have on transition today because I need it today. I need BetterHelp. I told you I signed up for BetterHelp. Had a great conversation with one of the therapists there. Scheduled another one for next week. Feel like it's going to be awesome. I did chatting. Let me tell you something. Dr. Anita tries to therapy me on the low. Okay. I've gone to therapists off and on, but not like I'm going to make this a part of my self-care routine, right? But I said, let me sign up and make this part of my self-care routine. All right. But I'm also a punk, right? I don't want to get on a video chat and talk to a stranger. I don't know you like that. You don't know me like that. I don't know your rhythms. I don't know you like that. It's COVID and stuff. I don't know about us, FaceTime and all that stuff, right? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to chat with you. So I set me up an appointment chat. And let me tell you, it met me right where I was because I was just dabbling my toe in it. What I love about BetterHelp is that they ask you all of these questions before you sign up. Do you want a white woman? Do you want a black woman? Do you want a black man? Do you want a white man? Do you want a brown man? Do you want a yellow man? They ask what is going to make you feel more comfortable. You know why that's important? Because there are cultural nuances specific to different ethnic groups that you may not be able to find in another therapist. That's all right. They've got something for everyone. Then they asked what some of my life issues are, my stresses and all of those things. And I did me a little chat with her and it was beautiful. We talked about, mind your business, but we talked about how I suppress my emotions because I've been honest with you all about me not having time to feel things because I'm busy and I'm tired and don't nobody want to go into that rabbit hole of feelings and emotions. And we talked about how I haven't ever really had a safe space to express my emotions. Powerful. You know why that's powerful? Because growing up in the family that I grew up in, and if you're from a family like my family, black family, where they tell you mind your business all of the time and that you don't have no business and you better not be mad. When you grow up in a black household like the one I grew up in, I don't know about your house. I'm going to tell you about my house. They say you better not be mad. You better not be sad. You better not be happy. Well, when I bet not be any of these things, I don't know how to be anything. I know you're not over there mad. I'm actually a little disappointed in myself right now. Oh, you the one crying? I should be the one crying. Yeah, I'm actually crying because as hurtful as this is for you, it's also difficult for me as well. My parents didn't have no box. Go to BetterHelp and get through your life and your issues and figure out who you are. So we talked about that. We talked about how I'm identifying. Y'all know I got my feelings wheel from Dr. Anita. I'm doing so much better right now in this moment. I feel happy. I do, which is really something to say because for the most part, I walk around and I don't like feel anything. So I have to like intentionally ask myself, like, what are you feeling? And so I want you guys to get some therapy so that you can tap into your feelings, tap into your thoughts and how you're processing things and come out on the other side with a better awareness of who you are. Sometimes you just need a safe space where you can connect with other people, where you can really see yourself in a new way. So BetterHelp is there. Anything you share is confidential. Financial aid is available to those who qualify. If you are not happy with your counselor for any reason, you can request a new one with no additional charge. Best of all, it's truly an affordable option. Woman Evolve with Sarah Jakes Roberts listeners get 10% off your first month with discount code EVOLVE. So why not get started today? Go to betterhelp.com/evolve. Simply fill out a questionnaire to help them assess your needs and get matched with a counselor you'll love. That's betterhelp.com/evolve. Orlando said, that's good. Michaela says, I started listening to Dr. Anita after I talked about her, after HUH talked about her, and I love her. I know that was a thing, but tell me what it was, okay? Deshaun says, yes, a safe space is important. Lanisha says, I'm about to stop answering my phone because it's COVID and I don't know about it. Official new answer for everything. Oh no, I can't respond to that email because I don't know about it. I don't know about it. No emails, no text messages, no Zoom. Oh God, no more Zoom. I don't know about it. Okay, how about that? All right, so advice questions. We have a smooth two of them because this podcast I know is about 50 minutes longer than it should be. Should have been 5 minutes, and I know it's long. First one says, hi, sis. This may be a bit lengthy, so I apologize in advance. I need your advice regarding church. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. My husband and I were members of a church here where the pastor and majority of the members are white. We'd been noticing some things that didn't sit well with us regarding race relations for quite some time. But after George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery paired with some other things, the silence and lack of concern that was displayed in the church was enough for us, and we decided to leave. Growing up in the Bible Belt, I wasn't originally concerned about finding another church because there's literally one on every corner. The problem was finding a church that my husband and I both enjoyed. Well, now we're relocating to Arizona, where I'm told the Black population is extremely low. Since we left our church, we've been tuning into One LA, and thanks to Rona, it's working out well. My question/concern is what happens when churches are back in full swing? Because I've grown up in church, I've always been under the impression that I need a church home where I can actually go, attend, and serve. Don't get me wrong, I would love to get back into a church and be active, but I nor my husband want to be in another situation to experience church hurt again. And thank you. Any thoughts from you in the delegation? Okay, so, this is something that I think really has a broader implication. And I think the idea of I want to get involved, but right now I don't want to risk myself being hurt again is reason enough for you to maintain the boundaries that you have in place. Whether it's a spiritual environment like a church or a relationship, if we still feel so raw that we're processing the idea of potential new opportunities, new relationships, new churches, but also weighing the real possibility of hurt. I think it's time for us to still kind of stay back and tend to our heart and spirit. Because here's the truth, like right now, you don't want your wound to be infected by another hurt. A lot of times when we experience hurt of any kind, we get involved somewhere else thinking that it will fix the hurt or thinking that it will help us to somehow ignore the hurt. And then when we get wounded in another way, it just adds another layer of pain and difficulty to our healing process. I think the most ideal circumstance is for you to distance yourself from the church community in such a way that you're still able to receive, like you're doing with 1LA, but to also be in a space where you can assess the damage that was done when you experienced that church hurt. Was it just race relations? Were there some other things? That way you can know what to look for better in a church community. Even though there may not be as many churches as you're used to, you want to find the right church for you. The right church may not necessarily mean a black church. Maybe you find a white community where they are embracing all of the issues of every person in their membership and not just ignoring those issues. But in the process of healing, you'll be able to determine what you really need. I had to come to a place where after my first marriage ended, where I said to myself, like, I realized that hurt is a part of life, but I have limits and boundaries on what I can and cannot accept. There are lessons that I need to apply to my future, and that all happens in the healing process. So I guess if I could say anything to you, it would be, don't worry about what could happen when churches open next, because right now churches aren't open. Right now there is an environment where you can receive the word, receive revelation and translation from the Bible, and that applies to your everyday life, and just allow that to meet you where you are right now. When the time comes and churches are open back up, you will know how to proceed from that space. If it comes down to, hey, I still want to attend, want to lay online or wherever you attend online, but I can still serve at a local shelter. I can still allow myself, I think you said you wanted to get involved and attend and serve. Like, there are other ways for you to be a part of community and to make sure that you are showing up to help make the world and your local community a better place, even if you haven't necessarily found the local church that is a good fit for you. So I say heal first. Don't worry about the future. Make sure you're healing. Make sure you're taking care of your soul. Make sure you're assessing the damages. When you get to the time when churches are open, you may start feeling like, okay, I still go to 1LA, but I want to try out this church. I want to try out different churches to see what speaks to me, to see if I am noticing any of the patterns that allowed me to be hurt in the first place. So I say proceed with caution, but don't rush yourself. And that's whether you're recovering from church hurt or romantic hurt or relational issues as a whole. Like, be gentle, be patient with yourself, and don't rush the process. You're not there yet, so don't worry about what could happen when something shifts or the right person comes into your life. Allow yourself to be in a good place first. Um, Lysandra says, after church hurt inside, I finally decided to listen to TD Jakes online, and that's where I have been for about 10 years, for real. Indeed. Jaleesa says, because we ourselves are not perfect. That's right. Let's see. Anika says, yes, take time to heal. Michaela says, heal and find a church that aligns with your spirit and your healed spirit. Because right now, until your spirit is healed, you may end up finding a church and picking it for the wrong reasons. But I think that every person who is still in church right now, whether that's online or physically, people who are connected with church have come to a place where they have either accepted that there's not going to be a perfect church, that I'm here because of X, Y, and Z. You have to figure out what your X, Y, and Z is. Or I have found a way, like this person said, where I am watching online and that's feeding my spirit and I feel safe there. At the end of the day, what's most important is your relationship with God, your ability to sense God, to hear God, to tap into the presence of God and allow God's presence to elevate you to who you're supposed to be in the earth. What that looks like is different for every other person, right? For one person, it does mean I attend, I get involved, I get in the kitchen and I know it's messy and there's things slinging around, but that's okay. I'm back in it because I understand what's most important for me. There's someone else that's like, listen, I can come once a month in person and I can catch your videos when you post them online, because that is what allows me to have the most clarity when hearing from God. And so I think to really, from a place of healing and wholeness, understand what you need. And it sounds like what you need right now is a little bit of distance, a little bit of time to recover and heal. And as you live in that space, I believe that God will move you to the next. Crystal Dion says, heal, then seek God for direction and guidance on if and how involved you should get. Indeed. Marcus Simmons says, I take rest of my life to heal. I prefer online connection is enough. TD Jakes is good, and so is Behold Israel and Joel Osteen too. I don't know who that is. That's what. Well, obviously I know, but I don't know. Behold Israel. Cheryl says Jesus shows up wherever you are at, in the living room, kitchen, bathroom, at your job. Invite him in your heart. Indeed. Diane says there's no perfect church as long as there are people. And let me tell you something. By me saying there is no perfect church, that doesn't mean that you should be under leadership where anything goes and there's no accountability or no effort to try and really lead a righteous life and to take care of the people who are connected to your anointing. I'm just saying that even with shepherds who are like that they could disappoint you. They could say something you don't agree with. They could say something sharply that hurts your feelings, or they could not say something at all at a time that you needed. And that is when we say, okay, well, they're not perfect, they're human, but we definitely know spiritual abuse, no physical abuse, no abuse of power or authority. Those are all things that are completely unacceptable. And making sure that you feel like there is a representation of your life when decisions are being made about where the community is headed. So um all right, let's see, next question. And it says um okay, this question is funny, and I hope that you're listening because I want you to know that you wrote this question and it tickled me. Okay. She says, Hi, SJR and Delegation. I hope that this email finds its way to you because I can use some advice. I am a little older than some of your other delegation members at 50 years old, but I truly enjoy the podcast and love the advice you and the delegation give. I have a family member who I love and admire very much, but he is very judgmental as a Christian. He truly does love the Lord, attends church and Bible study regularly, and does service in the community. He reads the Bible daily, and wow, does he know the scriptures. He also is beating his friends and family members over the head with the Bible. He uses his discernment whenever he doesn't approve of behavior, especially if things don't go his way. His children don't deal with him because he doesn't approve of their lifestyle, even though they are just young adults trying to find their way like he once had to. When a friend of ours didn't want to watch a Christian movie one day when they were hanging out, he told me that he won't hang out with him anymore because the friend is too worldly. I love this family member, but if I try to talk to him about this, he will be hurt and mad. I've tried before. We are a large Christian faith based family, but this family member does the most. He also seems to have forgotten that he wasn't perfect when he was a young adult himself. This is the gag. The question says, how do you deal with a Christian who believes God stopped saving people the day after they got saved? What's wrong with y'all? Um First of all, I want you to know that you wrote this question and you have a gift. The sense of humor was dry, but it was informative. It was right on target. Okay. um how do you deal with super saved saints, especially when they're in your family? I think that you come to accept them, and then you create boundaries that really help you maintain who you are, right? So you're not going to agree on everything, and that's okay, right? But it sounds like he set up a boundary where he said, you know what, that person is too early. I'm not going to be around them anymore. I think that same boundary that he set up, that people have the ability to set up with him, but not in this, I'm going to teach him a lesson. He gets on my nerves, but like literally for the sake of my mental health and my sanity, I cannot do you on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, I'm fine. On Monday, even better. But Wednesdays, absolutely not. So I think really understanding yourself, what you need, what gets on your nerves when you're at your best and when you're not, and really creating boundaries around that. There may be some subjects you can't bring up, some things you don't invite him to. Position your life that in a way that embraces the reality of who he is without altering who you are. Isn't that what a boundary is after all? It is our commitment to positioning people in our life in such a way that it doesn't alter our own identity. I don't want to be less of who I am or more than who I am as a result of being connected with you. So I have to make a decision. What boundaries do I need to set in place? When I feel X, Y, and Z, I can't go here. When I feel that, I don't go there. What are those boundaries that you need in order to deal with this family member? And once you have those in place, engage them accordingly. So that means you may, like I said, there may not be things that you share with them during the holidays. There may be, certain topics you don't bring up. But I think just to set up parameters, because it is too much pressure to try and change someone and to try to change the way they show up in the world. Let me tell you something. God has invested so much time in us, and we see how difficult it's been for him to change us, okay? For us to get a hold of our own actions and communication and patterns. So when dealing with someone else, you can expect for it to be just as challenging. Instead of trying to change him, instead of trying to talk to him, which you've already done and it didn't work, adjust your life accordingly. If I can't change you, I can change the way I engage with you so that I can maintain who I am. How about that? Brianna Hammond says, be blocked and blessed. Okay. Tammy O says, most religious families has a person like that, and you just can't talk to them about everything. You just have to adjust. Mary says, speak. So often we want to change folks instead of accepting what we see and do the workaround. When I say the workaround, do the workaround, do the workaround, feels like a TikTok dance. Feels like I stumbled across a TikTok. Feels like I didn't stumble, no stumbling across. Do the workaround. Do the workaround. It feels like it's the next best thing. The toilet paper. Well, this one's a little different than the toilet paper flex. But I don't know. Danielle says, as crazy as this may sound, I'm in Georgia. It's so many churches be off. I can literally feel it outside of the church. I feel like, okay, no, not this year. That's not off. You got to, you got to do what you got to do. Okay. Deshaun James Hampton took what I said and basically summarized it. Girl, I need you on the team. She says, don't change them, change you. Boom. Shakalaka. I just will don't worry about it. Have you ever been arguing with someone and you knew they weren't going to get the point and you just said to yourself, you know what? Don't worry about it. No, and they're like, oh no, don't get mad. Oh no. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Forget I brought it up. Moving on. That's what the workaround is. Okay. Audrey says, if you're saved and you don't know someone like that, it's you. Okay. For those of you wondering, okay. Okay, so snack time. It's snack time. It's snack time. Should I answer this last advice question? Should I go to snack time? It's 3:30. This episode's been trash from beginning to end. Should I just go ahead and do the last advice question? All right. Hi, Pastor Sarah. I've grown up in the church my entire life. I know what the Bible says about getting drunk. I know what the Bible says about premarital sex, but I'm curious, is it wrong for women to shoot their shot? Times are changing, and I'm not sure if it's now old school to have gender roles when it comes to approaching one another. So I was just curious. Thank you, love. Girl, I shot what I knew would be a sure shot towards my husband. Be clear. He was whispering in my ear during church. Okay, let me tell you something. We was at a conference. No, let me rewind. Let me take it all the way back. We had met in a business meeting. Okay, we were at that business meeting about something completely unrelated, right? And then we happened to be at the same church conference together. Somebody sat us beside each other. Was not intentional at all. During the church service, I was trying to receive the word. He was whispering, nudging, like, oh, did you know that? Like, kind of talking to me a little bit, right? And so when the service was over, I said, he wanted to take me to dinner. I felt it in my spirit. I knew he wanted to take me to dinner. I knew he wanted to feed me. And I said to myself, I'm going to make sure that he knows I'm hungry. Because the thing is, somebody might want to feed you, but they don't know if you're hungry. And so what I told him was very simple. I said, I'm coming to LA and you're taking me to dinner. Okay. And he shook his head and then I walked off because that was all the mustard I had mustered up for that moment. I pet myself. I was like all in my head. First of all, I'm like, this is going to be the most boss thing you've ever done in your whole life. You about to be a different Sarah when you say these words. Because sometimes you got to be different than who you are. who you are with that whole shy stuff where you don't let people know when you're hungry, you got to move them out the way. Okay. And I said to myself, I was sitting there and I was trying to pay attention to the word, but you know how when the pastor had made the point and you was like, I got that down in my spirit and now I can tell he's just driving it home. So I shift focus and I'm like, all right, I got the word. Thank you, Jesus. Good word. Love it. Shift and focus. I'm sitting next to this man and I know he want to take me to dinner. I know he hear my stomach growling. I know he needs to know that I'm open to dinner. How I'm going to let him know? How I'm going to let him know I'm open for dinner. And I was like, you know what you about to do? You about to be a boss. All right. You about to man up. Okay. You about to grab your stuff and man up. Right. And so I sent him my time and I was like, this one I'm going to do, this one I'm going to do. First of all, I looked good on the day. Okay. Looked good. And I said, what we're going to do is service is going to be over. You're going to have to walk across. You're going to have to walk by him in order to get to where you got to go. All right. So what you're going to do, you're going to step out with purpose. Okay. Don't do that little wobbly stepping out where your ankle get weak and your leg turn. That's corny. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's corny. Be who you supposed to be. Okay. Proverbs 31, put her on. Right. And so I said to myself, okay, I'm about to do this. Right. So service was over and the organ was playing and stuff. Right. And I was like, I'm coming to LA and you're taking me to dinner. Then I walked off. He already had my number, so it's fine. And here we are. Look at us. To answer your question, shoot your shot. Shoot your sure shot. Don't be out here just shooting shots. You know what? Have you seen the video of Obama when he was walking out of the gym and he took the ball and then he just did it. He said, that's what I do. When you shoot your shot, make sure it's going to go in. I don't want you just out here randomly shooting shots. So you saying to yourself, how do I know? I don't know. I feel like it could be something there, but I'm not sure, right? Those are the shots that we shoot. You start off basic, right? I figured because he'd been talking to me in church that if we went to dinner and it wasn't no romantic connection, that at least we had talked through service a little bit so it wouldn't be awkward. Don't be out here in Michael B. Jordan's DMs. Don't be out here. As a member of the delegation, I'm here to pull your coattail. Shoot the shots. You're not Michael Jordan, okay? Ain't nobody asked you to be in the WNBA. So start with the hoops that you can reach. Start with the hoops that you can reach, okay? That's what I'm saying, okay? All right, so hold on. Lexi said, how do we know the shot is short? You got to know what you're feeling with the shot. You know what I'm saying? You got to pick up on something. You know what I mean? Is there some chemistry there? Is there some communication there? And when you shoot your shot, don't shoot your marriage shot. Sometimes we shoot right for marriage. Like God told me you my husband. Leave the shot flexible. You know what I mean? Like, could this be a good friend? Could this be a good business partner? Could this be my husband? I don't know. But don't put all your shot into the marriage basket. Leave it open and whimsical and fun. You know what I mean? Because we just shooting shots. We're not in the game yet. You know how before the game, they just shoot. We just shooting. We just practicing, okay? So if we've had a little bit of connection, a little bit of razzle dazzle in our communication, you want to see if that razzle dazzles over a long period of time. Maybe it's 10-minute razzle. Maybe it's not a full dinner razzle. Maybe it's a lifetime razzle, okay? But don't just be out here shooting unthinkable shots, okay? How about that? Amir says, don't let her stop you, sis. Go get your man. Marcus Simmons says, I have trouble getting my girlfriend phone number. Whoa, that sentence was really strange. That sentence was really strange. Honestly, sounds like it's not your girlfriend. Okay. Talk to Favor says, leave the shot flexible. I'm crying. When I say leave it flexible, because it's too much pressure, okay? Sherelle Stanley says, SJR is Cupid, poetic, rapper, and now she's shoot your shot coach. It feels like a course, okay? Jessica Fair says, it's been 28 years. I can't see the basket. That's all right. That's all right. Tracy Jones says, just shoot free throws. Don't try for the 3-pointer. That's what thank you for somebody who actually knows about shooting your shot, helping me. Just free throw it. I'm just getting my wrist warmed up so it don't cost me nothing if it don't turn out. You know what I mean? It's too much pressure when you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Because if he'd have said, like, you're not taking me to dinner, I would have honestly, truly thought that was his loss. Because one, I can take myself to dinner. I just thought that you would enjoy doing that, you know? just, I don't know. There was something about our conversation that made me feel like you would enjoy feeding me and having conversation with me. But I talk to myself. Listen to this podcast. I've been sitting up here talking to myself for about an hour and a half. I know how to talk to myself and I know how to feed myself. So I just thought that you would maybe want to spend a lifetime doing this together or at least one dinner, but that's your bad if you didn't. And Monty says, I think it's snack time. And you're right. Moving on. Here's my snack. Okay. Um, it's going to be hard to have a snack given how challenging this episode has been. Tracy White says this podcast has been everything for me today. Podcast was not the best. Okay. Um, Jessica Youngblood says you are shooting your shot, not in the whole game just yet. Okay, so let me backtrack this real so I can tell you how I got here. Oh, yes. Okay, pandemic. All right. So I had to give you my whole stuff. Usually most of the time the advice questions are a little bit more serious and then I can just move right on into something that is profound. But since I have been clowning and having shoot your shot conversations, let me just take it back, start from the beginning. So we're in a pandemic. I would love to go see my family for the holidays, for Thanksgiving, love to turn right back around, see them for Christmas. I don't know what's going to be happening with this pandemic, but I had pretty much decided that whatever it was, we was going to test up, mask up, and be present, right? And, I read an article today that spooked me. I ain't even going to lie to you. It made me feel like, you know what? Corona is real and she's not gone. And I don't want to be out here, especially putting my family, my parents and stuff in danger, right? So you know what I had to do? I had to ask God for wisdom, which sounds like just the basic standard way of living life. But sometimes we are so married to our opinion and the way that we think that things should go that what we pray for is for God to make sure that what I want to happen will actually happen. And instead, I had to roll my eyes and bow my head and say, God, at the end of the day, give me wisdom. Give me wisdom that I may be led with your spirit and your protection and your power and the wellness of everyone I love in mind. And when I asked for wisdom in that moment, I had to be willing to detach myself from my desired results. And that is challenging. But that is my snack for today, is that I want to at least challenge you, perhaps join you in coming to a place where I want God's wisdom over my opinion, where I want God's wisdom over my desired outcome, where I want God's wisdom because when I have God's wisdom, whatever I'm going to need to deal with that, whether it means I can't go and I'm going to be missing my family and my heart's going to be broken. When I'm in God's wisdom, then He has already made provision for what I'm going to need in the moment to help me deal with whatever I think is going to happen if I don't get what I desire. And so I hope that that helps you. It's what I am embracing in this season, wisdom over opinions. And as I do that, I believe that God is giving me insight on how to move and what to do from day to day, from holiday to holiday, from week to week. So I hope that helps you. Brianna says, wow, I just pray for God's wisdom in my business again this week. I love that. I love that. Rachel says God's wisdom is the best wisdom. It is the best, absolute best wisdom. But we have to be intentional about really seeking it out or we miss it. Serenely says God's wisdom over my desires. Love it. Indeed. Paris says SJR, this is a word. I love it. Okay, I'm going to take my win. I shot my shot. It went into the net. I'm going to take my win while I have it because I missed a few. I missed a few of my free throws this week. But that's all right. We're back next week. Last podcast of the week is next week of the year for me. Is next week. It is. Call me back. I have to tell you something. I thought about having Cora host while I take the month of December off. Oh, you just got that email? But I'm going to ask for God's wisdom. because I don't know if I can trust you guys together. Okay. I love you guys. I'm going to pray. Oh God, I need your wisdom. I need your wisdom every single day. Without it, I am lost. Without it, I'm out here making decisions on my own. And without it, I feel incapable of really standing up to whatever the outcome is connected to my will. And so, Father, I pray that your will would be made clear to not just myself, but to every person listening right now, that your wisdom, Father, would rise to the surface above the voice of our fear, above the voice of insecurity, above the voice of our ego and our pride, that your wisdom would rise to the surface and that it would make clear the path that is ahead of us. Father, we receive your wisdom. We receive the love and connection that comes through sisterhood. We receive your power and your presence. Let it lead us, comfort us, and guide us throughout our days. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I love y'all.